𝐘𝐨𝐮 𝐅𝐨𝐮𝐵𝐿𝐴 and a very warm welcome, Venerable Nitin, Chief DEO of 𝐷 Principal, teachers, students, and our dear viewers watching from across the country. It gives me immense joy to welcome you all to Rangjung Central School, where we gather today for the Youth Forum 2025, held under the inspiring theme, The Legacy of the Great Fourth. This special event is dedicated to celebrating the 70th birth anniversary of His Majesty the Fourth True Gyalpo, a monarch whose wisdom, compassion, and selfless service have shaped the destiny of our beloved nation. His Majesty has always placed the happiness and well-being of people above all else, guiding Bhutan through time of change with humility, courage, and deep love for the country. Under his wise leadership, Bhutan has flourished in peace, harmony, and unity. Value continues to guide us even today. As we celebrate this joyous occasion, we offer our deepest respect, heartfelt gratitude, and sincere prayers for the long life and continued well-being of our beloved Great Fourth. May His Majesty's vision continue to inspire generations to come. Usually, such youth programs are held in Thimphu, giving opportunities mainly to students from the capital. But for the first time, the stage has come to the eastern side of our country, here in Trashikang, to discover and showcase the incredible talents of our eastern youth. May this Youth Forum be a reflection of His Majesty's timeless message to serve with dedication, live with integrity, and work together for the greater good of our nation. And now, before we begin with our main program, let's start on a joyful note. To welcome all our guests, judges, and participants, we have a beautiful welcome dance performance by the talented students from Yebrang Primary School. Please give a round of applause for the performers.
Ma
Wow, that was such a wonderful, fantastic dance performance by Yabrang Primary School students. That was indeed a wonderful way to begin our program today. Now, without further ado, let's begin with our program today. We have enthusiastic participants from both class 9 and 10 coming together from schools across 𝐘𝐨𝐮𝐭𝐡 to share their voices under the inspiring theme, The Legacy of the Great Fort. Each student today will speak on a topic related to the legacy of the Great Fort. They will have 4 minutes to share their thoughts, ideas, and understanding about His Majesty's remarkable contributions and vision for Bhutan. Our timekeeper will help us keep track on time. At 3 minutes 30 seconds, you will hear a warning bell, and at 4 minutes, the final bell will ring. Please make sure to finish your speech by then. I'd like to emphasize that this is not a competition. Every participant here is to share their ideas and learn from each other. However, at the end of the program, we will recognize one participant as the best speaker. The judge for selecting best speaker will be the chief DEO and DEO, who will look at each participant's clarity, confidence, and content. All participants will receive certificates and cash prizes, and the best speaker will receive the same plus a special gift in recognition of their outstanding effort. Now let's get ready to listen, learn, and celebrate the voices of our young talents. But before we move on, I'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors, High Quality Thangka for their generous financial support, CSI Market for sponsoring the gift hampers for our chief guest, judges, and for everyone who made today's event possible. 𝐷𝐴𝐻𝐿 for your continued support in empowering our youth and celebrating Bhutanese talent. And not to forget, I would also like to sincerely thank the principal, teachers, and students of Rangjung Central School for being such a wonderful host. Your warm hospitality has made us all feel truly at home, and we greatly appreciate your efforts in making this event possible too. Now we'll begin with the first speaker. Our first speaker is Pema Yangchen from Bursam High Secondary School, Class 9. Please come forward on the stage. Pema will be talking on the topic, The Fourth King's Childhood Responsibility, Leading a Nation at just 17 years old.
The sky is filled with stars, yet there is room for all to shine. With this, good afternoon to you all, respected Lamneten, distinguished officials, principal, other teachers, and to all the audience out here. I be mention of Class 9, representing Bursam Central School, would like to deliver a short speech on a topic, responsibility taken by His Majesty when he was just 17 years old. His Majesty was born on November 11, 1955 at Dechin Choling Palace in Thimphu, Bhutan. His Majesty was the eldest son of the third king, Jimmy Doji Wanchu, and Queen Mother, Ajikizang Choden Wanchu. His Majesty Jimmy Singh Wanchu ascended to the throne at the remarkable young age of 16 in 1972 after the passing of his father, the third king. Despite his youth, he bore immense responsibility of leading nation with maturity far beyond his years. From childhood, he was taught that the ruler's foremost duty was to prioritize the happiness and well-being of the people. Just as he lost his father and king, he had to shade his boyhood innocence and embrace leadership at 17, becoming the youngest monarch at the time. In taking helm, the young king focused on modernization of country while carefully balancing traditional and cultural preservations. Since so many parts of Bhutan lacked in basic infrastructure such as water, electricity, schools, and hospital, and King worked to improve these conditions, modernizing agriculture and domestic industries without compromising Bhutan's cultural heritage. He was known for frequently visiting the country's 20 districts to meet with people and know their needs directly. His Majesty's significant contributions was initiating reforms to reduce absolute power on monarchy, transferring authority to democratic institutions, which ultimately led Bhutan towards parliamentary democracy, which was realized after his abdication. His visionary leadership also introduced the world-renowned philosophy of gross national happiness, emphasizing holistic well-being over mere economic growth. His Majesty's selflessness, dedication, and wisdom shaped Bhutan into peaceful and progressive nation from underdeveloped country during his reign, which lasted till 2006. Thus, at 17 years old, the young king focused on modernization of country. His Majesty led Bhutan with a visionary approach rooted with a compassion, responsibility, and service to people, giving service to people, guiding to transformative development while maintaining its cultural unique identity. So lastly, I would like to wish His Majesty a long life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pema Yangchen. Thank you for sharing your speech on Fourth King's childhood responsibility, leading a nation just at 17 years old. Your perspective on His Majesty's early leadership was insightful and inspiring. Now, up next, we have participant from Dungsi Middle Secondary School. Please come forward on the stage. Now, you will be judged based on clarity, on 3 C's: clarity, confidence, and content. Make sure you cover the stage and give a speech with full confidence.
A very warm greetings to you all. Today, I would like to share one of the significant legacy of His Majesty the Fourth King, which is protecting Bhutan's nature, the rivers and the environment for future generations. So before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. I am Pema Choden, currently studying at Dungsi Central School. So today, I'm standing before you to honor our visionary leader, whose legacy continues to shape our beloved nation, His Majesty the Fourth King 𝐶𝐴. His commitment to the environment and sustainable development has laid a strong foundation for protecting the nature heritage, ensuring that our future generations will receive a thriving ecosystem. During the address in National Assembly 1999, His Majesty stated, we must ensure that we protect our environment, for it is not just our heritage, but the basis of our survival. Through this profound insight, it encapsulates the essence of Bhutan's approach to environmental conservation. His Majesty once said, our environment is a gift from our ancestors. It is our duty to preserve it for future generations. This profound statement reminds us about the intergenerational responsibilities we all carry. So, one of the greatest and significant initiatives launched under His Majesty's reign was the establishment of protected areas across Bhutan. I quote, conservation is not just about protecting the nature. It is about ensuring that people live with harmony with it. I unquote. This statement was made during the launch of Royal Society for Protection of Nature in 2000. This statement reminds us that our human's well-being is interconnected with environment's well-being. So, to be healthy, let us protect our environment. As we reflect upon His Majesty's legacy, let us not forget to consider his call for action. I quote, "Let us work together to protect, let us work together to ensure that our natural beauty remains untouched for generations to come." I unquote. His Majesty made this statement. This is like a reminder for all of us that we should protect our environment. In conclusion, let us all honor our His Majesty's legacy by prioritizing His Majesty's focus and as we face many modern challenges such as climate change and rapid development, let us remain steadfast in our dedication to protecting our environment. And by embracing His Majesty's vision, we can ensure that Bhutan remains a beacon of environmental stewardship and cultural richness for generations to come. Thank you, La.
Thank you, Pema Chodron, for your speech on protecting Bhutan's nature, forest, rivers, and the environment for future generations. You have reminded us of the importance of caring for our environment, and your ideas were very clear and engaging. A big round of applause for Pema Chodron once again. Now, let's welcome our next speaker from Gongtung Middle Secondary School, Sonam Tenzin, Class 10. He will be talking on the topic, Preserving Culture While Embracing Progress.
Good morning to everyone. Highly respected, Honorable Lam Nathan, Songkhak education officials, esteemed teachers, and all the audience out here. I'm Sonam Tenzin from class 10, speaking on behalf of Gongtung Middle Secondary School. Before I begin, I would like you all to take a moment to think, what truly defines Bhutan in the modern world? Is it our breathtaking landscape, our colorful festivals, or the clothes we wear? Perhaps it is all of this. But above all, it is our culture and values that has shaped who we are and guide our future. So today, I will be delivering a speech on the topic, balancing tradition and modernization, preserving culture while embracing progress. Today, we explore a critical question. How do we balance tradition and modernization, preserving our culture while embracing the opportunity of progress? This is the legacy of his great fourth Gelpo, King Jimmy Singye Wangchuk, and it is the path that continues to guide Bhutan today. When we reflect on His Majesty's reign, we see a leader who had extraordinary vision to balance tradition and modernization. He opened Bhutan to the world, introducing television, internet, and democratic reforms. Yet, at the same time, he safeguarded our national language, national dress, sacred festivals, and the timeless values. His leadership proved that modernization means losing identity. It means embracing progress while remaining true to who we are. Perhaps his greatest gift to us is the philosophy of gross national happiness, which itself is the perfect symbol of balance. At a time when many nations chased wealth alone, His Majesty reminded us that the true progress must preserve culture, protect the environment, strengthen communities, and ensure the happiness of people. This was not the rejection of modernization. It was a way to guide modernization so that it serves humanity, not the other way around. Today, as we live in the fast-changing globalized world, we see many opportunities and challenges are surrounding us. Modern technologies connect us instantly. Education prepares us for global stage. And development improves our quality of life. But we must also remember the word of His great fourth, that without our culture and values, our progress would be empty. Therefore, we must strive to walk the same path that His Majesty showed us, to wear our national dress while mastering modern skills, to celebrate our sacred festivals while we embrace new ideas, and to hold on to our values of harmony and compassion as we step forward to a digital age. In conclusion, the true legacy of His great fourth is this balance between tradition and modernization, between progress and preservation. If we can uphold this balance, we will honor His vision and ensure that Bhutan remains both rooted in its identity and in forward-looking into progress. So, let us all pray together for the longevity of His Majesty, the Fourth 𝐷. Thank you.
Wow, that was powerful speech by Sonam Tenzin. Thank you very much. Now, dear audience, everyone, it's time for some fun. I'll ask few questions about His Majesty, the Fourth 𝐷, and his remarkable contributions to our nation. If you know the answer, raise your hand. The first person to answer correctly would get a chocolate reward. Okay, so let's start with a very easy question. What unique development philosophy was introduced by His Majesty, the Fourth 𝐷? Is there anyone who wants to answer this question? I'll repeat the question. What unique development philosophy was introduced by His Majesty, the Fourth 𝐷? Please raise your hand if you know the answer. First, can you please tell us your name?
Good afternoon to you all. My name is 𝐘𝐨𝐿, and I'm currently studying in class 9.
Okay, now what's the answer?
It's gross national happiness, GNH.
Correct, that's the correct answer. Can someone please give her a chocolate? Now let's continue with our speeches. Next, we have Jampeling Higher Secondary School 𝐘𝐨𝐿. 𝐘𝐨𝐿 will be talking on the topic, the fourth king and birth of democracy, giving power to the people.
I quote His Majesty the Fifth 𝐷, Jimmy Kessler Namgyalwanchu. Never was a king like 𝐂𝐴𝐫𝐿 ever born in Bhutan, and never will a king like 𝐂𝐴𝐫𝐿 ever be born again in Bhutan. I unquote. It is truly an honor to speak on one of the most remarkable and transformative chapters in our nation's history, the fourth king and the birth of democracy, gifting power to the people. Ask yourself a simple question. Would I ever willingly give up on absolute power? The answer for most monarchs throughout the history has been resounding no. Everyone in the history was obsessed with power. Yet, His Majesty, the fourth Gheggyalpo, Jimmy Singye Wanchul, broke this historical pattern. When Bhutan was already at its most stable, prosperous, and peaceful, he made a courageous decision to relinquish his throne and deliver democracy to his people. This is an act of selflessness so profound it moves beyond simple history. This is only possible in fairy tales. Around the world, democracy was often born from revolution, intense protest, or even in bloodshed. But in Bhutan, democracy was not demanded by the people. It was kindly gifted by the king himself. Isn't this astounding? This is what makes Bhutan's story uniquely inspiring. His Majesty's entire reign was guided by the profound philosophy of gross national happiness, G&H. His Majesty believed that the real and enduring strength of the nation resides in the wishes and aspirations of its citizens. He demonstrated unwavering trust in his people to collectively carry his country, Bhutan, into the future. He personally oversaw the drafting of our constitution, meticulously democratic institution, and patiently prepared the entire nation for its smooth transition. Then, in 2008, Bhutan held its first democratic elections, marking the peaceful commencement of a new national era. But this gift comes with responsibility. Democracy is not just about enjoying rights. It's about respecting others, working together, and thinking about the nation before ourselves. The legacy of Fourth Gheggyalpo is merely not written in history books. It is vibrantly alive in Constitution and in our responsibilities. So next time when we reflect on democracy, don't just think of it as a politic mechanic. Think of it as a royal treasure, a profound inheritance handed to us by a king who was humble, supremely wise, and fundamentally ahead of his time. To conclude, let me ask you one final question. What better way to honor His Majesty's extraordinary legacy than by becoming responsible, unified, and actively engaged citizen? The answer unequivocally lies with each one of us. Her Majesty, the Queen Mother, Agi Wanchul, affirms that the fourth king, His Majesty, Jimmy Singye Wanchul, is truly a jewel of a man. Before I leave, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Chimi Yuden of 9, currently studying there at Jumping Center School. Speaking here today has been a wonderful experience for me, and I truly appreciate for your support and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Chimi Eden, for your speech on the fourth king and the birth of democracy, giving power to the people. You spoke clearly about how His Majesty empowered the people and shaped our nation's governance. Now, up next, please welcome a participant from Jimmy Sherabling Central School, Choengdokar, Class 10. She will be talking on the topic, the fourth king and sports, inspiring youth through games and international participation.
Long live His Majesty, a jewel to the Wangchuk dynasty and power that he gives to us. Kuzu Zangpula, my name is Choengdokar, a proud student of Jimmy Sherabling Central School. Today, we gather to honor a king whose reign was defined by dedication, humility, and a love for his people. His Majesty was a king who taught us that true leadership is not about sitting on a throne, but about looking after his people with heart. Imagine a king who did not just sit on a throne, but instead picked up a bow and arrow, not to shoot down enemies, but to fight for glory alongside his people. Yes, that king was none other than His Majesty, the 4th 𝐷 𝐷 And if you ever tried to beat him at archery, you would know it was less your majesty and more your mightiness on the field. His Royal Highness once said, "Why should sports only be for the athletes? It should be for every heartbeat in Bhutan." For him, sport was more than a game. It was a teacher of discipline, teamwork, courage, unity, lessons for life itself. His Majesty did not just rule from a throne. He stood among his people, playing archery with them, sharing their joys and struggles, showing that a king is never above his people but a part of their soul. His Majesty preserved and promoted modern sports in Bhutan, ensuring that they remained symbols of national pride and unity. His Majesty is a great leadership, as we all know. He established the Bhutan Olympic Committee on November 23, 1983, serving as its first president. This formalized sports development in Bhutan and ensured the continuity of our sports in Bhutan. His Royal Highness is a remarkable leader of our nation. As the founder and patron of modern sports in Bhutan, His Majesty initiated and developed modern sports in Bhutan, including bringing initiatives like infrastructures and institutions, including the Janglimitang Stadium, gifted to the nation in 1974. This stadium became a symbol of national pride, where cheers echo not only for the winners, but for every young Buddhist dreaming big. Today, the flame His Majesty has burned ignites brighter in every game played, every arrow shot, and every young dream chased beyond the horizon. His Majesty didn't just inspire others, he changed lives, showing that greatness is not measured by size, but by the courage to inspire others and promote cultures. As students, we are privileged to inherit this legacy, a legacy that teaches us that our dreams can be as vast as the Himalayan sky, no matter how small our country is. So let us honor the contributions made by His Majesty in the field of sports and embrace the enduring power of leadership that inspires us to live with courage, unity, and boundless hope. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Choyang. That was a very beautiful speech. His Majesty believed that sports build discipline, unity, and pride, a vision still reflected in our athletes today. Now, let's move on to the next speaker. We have Tashi Sonamladin from Radi Middle Secondary School. She will be talking on the topic Faith in Youth, Education, Responsibility, and Preparing Future Leaders.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Tashi Sonamladin, and I'm currently studying in Radi Middle Secondary School under Radi 𝐷 from Tashkang Zongkak. We gather today to celebrate the landmark occasion, the 70th birth anniversary of our beloved and revered Druk Gyalpo, the Great Fourth, His Majesty 𝐷 Wangchu. It is a day of profound national significance, a time to pause, reflect, and pay tribute to a monarch whose visionary reign has irreversibly shaped the destiny of our kingdom. It is a profound honor to speak today on the extraordinary legacy of our beloved Fourth Druk Gyalpo under the powerful theme, Faith in Youth, Education, Responsibility, and Preparing Future Leaders. His Majesty is remembered as the father of gross national happiness, but more fundamentally, he was a leader who placed immense trust in his people, especially the youth. He foresaw that the strength of the nation would depend not on material wealth alone, but on the values, knowledge, and a sense of responsibility nurtured in the younger generation. His faith was a constant message, The future of Bhutan must be built by capable, confident, and responsible citizens. Education was the central pillar to His Majesty's vision. Recognizing that sovereignty is safeguarded by an enlightened population, His Majesty expanded schools to every corner of the country. He ensured that education was not just for employment, but a path to instill values of service, compassion, and true loyalty to the nation. This emphasis has shaped generations of people who serve the nation with integrity and pride today. Alongside education, His Majesty emphasized responsibility. He constantly reminded us that every Bhutanese carries a duty towards his nation, its environment, and its culture. His leadership demonstrated that progress is meaningful only when balanced with responsibility. The philosophy of gross national happiness itself is rooted here. The development must protect nature, uphold values, and secure the well-being of the future generations. Perhaps the most profound example of His Majesty's legacy was his decision to step down from the throne at the height of his popularity and introduce democracy. This was not an act of retreat, but an act of immense foresight. By entrusting leadership to the people, he prepared citizens, especially the youth, to shoulder greater responsibilities as active participants in nation building. His trust reflects the deep conviction that we, the youth, are ready to lead the nation into a bright future. Today, we honor this legacy by acting upon it. As youth, we must dedicate ourselves to education, not just for personal gain, but for service. We must embrace responsibility, not as a burden, but as the privilege of citizenship. We must prepare ourselves to be leaders, not necessarily with titles, but as individuals who lead with integrity, compassion, and vision wherever we serve. In conclusion, the legacy of His Majesty King Jigme Singye Wangchuck continues to guide us. Let me end with the profound words of His Majesty King Jigme Singye Wangchuck. I quote, The future of Bhutan lies in the hands of our youth. It is your responsibility to carry forward the country with integrity, wisdom, and compassion wherever we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Tashi Sonam Lhaden. Like she said, His Majesty always believed in the power of youth, in our responsibility to shape the nation's future through education, values, and service. Now back to our audience. I hope you're not dozing off. I'll throw you one question. Again, simple question. Whoever knows the answer, please raise your hand. What important environmental policy did His Majesty emphasize to protect Bhutan's natural beauty? If you know the answer, please raise your hand.
60% forest coverage.
What's your name?
Tenzin Naru.
Tenzin Naru, that's right. That's the correct answer. Maintaining at least 60%. Maintaining at least 60% of forest cover for all time is the answer. Now, let's move on to our next speaker from Rangjung Central School. Please come on the stage. She will be talking on the topic Gross National Happiness, how the fourth king taught Bhutan to value happiness over wealth.
According to numerology, people born on the 11th of November, people born on the 11th are destined to be great future leaders and philosophers. Our fourth king has proven this philosophy as true. With this, good afternoon, respected Lamnedin, Zongkhag education officers, teachers, and you all my dear friends out here. as we gather here to celebrate the special occasion of the birth anniversary of His Majesty, the Fourth Druk Gyalpo, King Jimmy Singye Wangchuck. We are reminded of a leader who continues to guide Bhutan and inspire the world. He had taught us a simple yet powerful truth, that real progress does not come from just wealth or power. Rather, it comes from how happy and fulfilled we are as people. When His Majesty ascended the throne at just 17 years old, the world was rushing towards economic growth. Many countries measured success just through power or money. But our wise king saw deeper. He said with confidence, "Gross national happiness is more important than gross national product." Those were not just words that were spoken. They define us. They are the heart of Bhutan's development philosophy, and they guide the nation towards its destiny. When His Majesty said, "We are convinced that we must aim for contentment and happiness, whether it takes 5 years or 10 years to increase per capita income, does not guarantee that happiness. Rather, it comes from good social harmony, political stability, and the Bhutanese culture and way of life." Those words reminded us that happiness does not come from luxuries or riches. Rather, it comes from the clean air we breathe, from the smiles of us Bhutanese citizens, and from the culture and tradition that we have preserved and protected our whole life. To make his vision real, His Majesty established 4 main pillars of gross national happiness. The first pillar is sustainable socio-economic development. We mustn't bring a person down or up just because they're wealthy or not. His Majesty believed that progress shall uplift everyone, not just the wealthy. This brought equality and dignity to all Bhutanese citizens. Secondly, conservation of environment. Our Majesty made a remarkable decision to conserve 60% of Bhutan's forest. This reminded us that nature is not something we own, but rather something we belong to. And thirdly, preservation and promotion of culture. Our culture, our tradition, Triglam Namja, and language are the root of our happiness. We can't just simply throw it away. His Majesty guided us with harmonizing modernization with culture into preserving our unique identities. The last pillar is good governance. His Majesty guided us with compassion, kindness, care. Who wouldn't wish for that? These 4 pillars stand strong, like the 4 legs of a table. If one weakens, the whole structure corrupts. Isn't that true? So, today, we, Bhutan, stand as a proud country. Other countries look up to us on how to progress without losing humanity. May we, the youth of Bhutan, continue this golden vision of our Fourth Druk Gyalpo. Let us conserve our beautiful land. Let us live with gratitude. And let us always value happiness over wealth. For wealth can fill our pockets, but happiness and contentment can only fill our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Pema Yangchen. She summed up the pillars of GNH very beautifully. Now, before we move on to the next speaker, we have a dance performance by Ruddy Middle Secondary School. Please enjoy the dance performance. Thank you, Radhi Middle Secondary School, for that graceful dance performance. We're almost at the end of our program, and I hope everyone has learned something meaningful and inspiring today. Let's move on to the next speaker, Ishil Hamo from Tashigang Middle Secondary School. Her topic is the Visionary King, how the fourth king planned for Bhutan's future.
Greetings to you all, highly respected esteemed guests, principal, teachers, fellow participants, and to all the viewers across the world who joined us today. My name is Ishilamo, currently studying in 10th grade, and it is with great honor and privilege that I get to stand here representing Tashigang Middle Secondary School to talk about a subject that lies very close to the heart of every Bhutanese, the Visionary King. But before I move any further, I would like to request each and every one of you to ask this question to yourself. What makes a leader truly great? Is it his wealth? Is it his power? Is it the fame that follows him? Or is it the courage to dream about a future that others can't even imagine of? In Bhutan, we are blessed with a leader whose vision went far beyond his time, a king who touched the heart of every Bhutanese people, a king the world now calls the Visionary King, our beloved fourth Jugyalpo, His Majesty Jimmy Senior Wanchu. In 1970s, when the world chased money and material progress, our Majesty asked a simple yet a powerful question. What is the purpose of development if it does not bring happiness to our people? From that moment, Bhutan introduced to the world gross national happiness. Now imagine a nation where success is being measured not by wealth, but by the smiles of its people. That is vision, compassion, and courage all at once. But his vision did not stop at happiness. He looked around Bhutan's mountains, rivers, forests, and said, "This is not just ours. It belongs to our children and to their children." With that, he promised that at least 60% of Bhutan will remain under forest coverage. And today, Bhutan is the only carbon-negative country in the world, a small Himalayan kingdom teaching the world to breathe clean air, just because a king dared to think beyond today. And yet, His Majesty is not only a compassionate visionary, but also a courageous protector. In 2003, when Bhutan faced security threats, Our Majesty personally led the military in order to flush out the insurgents from the southern border. He risked his own life in order to protect his peoples, in order to protect our lives. That is the heart of a true visionary king. He defends his nation with strength and bravery. Now, if I talk a little bit on one of the most remarkable actions of His Majesty, it was his abdication to the throne. In other countries, while most of the kings clung to their power, Our Majesty did exactly the opposite. With the height of his reign, he voluntarily stepped down and handed his throne to our fifth Gelpo, just so that Bhutan could live a freer and a brighter future. And today, as we come together to celebrate His Majesty's 70th birth anniversary, let us not only remember his greatness, let us carry forward his dream. Let us protect our land. Let us care for one another. Let us build a Bhutan where courage, success, and happiness guides every step we take. His Majesty gave us our dream, and now it is our time to live it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishilhamo. Like she mentioned, a true visionary, His Majesty laid the foundation for everything we are proud of today. Now, let's directly move on to our next speaker from Tashisi Higher Secondary School, Pema Selden. She will be talking on the topic Health and Well-being, the Fourth King's focus on hospitals and public health.
Honorable Lamnetin, esteemed judges and other distinguished guests, my dear brothers and sisters, friends, Kuzu Zangpola to everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the greatest of the greats and the fourth Gelpo of Bhutan and his contributions towards the health sector. Before I dive into my speech, let me ask you all a question. What significant changes have you noticed after and before His Majesty 𝐷𝐸 𝐶𝐻 was enthroned to the post of king? Well, since the enthronement of His Majesty, the fourth Gelpo to the throne, Bhutan has been enveloping in unremitting happiness and peace. His Majesty's leadership, courage, and vision has brought profound changes in our lives, and it changed the course of Bhutan's destiny. His Majesty the fourth Gelpo is commemorated for his numerous selfless acts that has invited peace, progress, and guarded the nation's dreams and destinies. His Majesty the fourth Gelpo always kept the happiness and well-being of his people above everything else, even at the cost of his own prosperity and power. Even at the times when the world was suffering immensely due to diseases such as measles, malaria, and smallpox, His Majesty chose to come forward and help his people to tackle these challenges. His Majesty, during such crisis, planted a seed of just, and compassionate healthcare system that continues to grow and serve the people of Bhutan even today. Well, His Majesty also emphasized the need for a strong leadership and an effective governance system in health, and therefore he supported the creation of Ministry of Health, and he ensured that health policies are integrated into national development plans. His Majesty, during his reign, the first expanded program on immunization was initiated in 1979. Even though the coverage of EPI plan in the beginning was very low, but due to His Majesty's commitment and dedication towards his people, the EPI plan accelerated and the coverage also eventually grew. And His Majesty, though the Bhutan was not financially secure at that time, His Majesty ensured free health care services, and His Majesty also initiated the healthcare infrastructures. His Majesty also initiated the development of important institutions such as Royal Institute of Health Services and National Institute of Traditional Medicine, mainly to train the health workers of Bhutan. And His Majesty also supported the Royal Sorikpa, our Buddhist own traditional medicine, which helped His Majesty to preserve our culture and also provide the people with numerous options for healing. His Majesty is the great fourth monarch, is a king who is not remembered for how long he has ruled, but for how deeply he is remembered for his compassion, wisdom, and kindness. So, on this wonderful occasion, I would like to take the opportunity to wish His Majesty a very happy birth anniversary, and may his legacy be heard and known to everyone in this world. Thank you.
Beautifully delivered by Bhima Selden. His Majesty's commitment to healthcare ensured that even the most remote communities received access to medical services and a better quality of life. Now, let's move on to our 10th speaker of the day from Trimshing Central School, 𝐷 𝐾𝐨𝐮𝐭𝐡. Please come forward on the stage. 𝐷 𝐾𝐨𝐮𝐭𝐡 will be talking on the topic Bhutan's place in the world, how the fourth king strengthened our international reputation.
Hello. The legacy of the great fourth. Greetings to you all, respected chief guests, distinguished dignitaries, and my fellow Buddhists. I am 𝐷 𝐾𝐨𝐮𝐭𝐡 from Trimshing Central School. Today, I'm standing before you with pride in my heart to speak about one of the greatest sons of Bhutan, His Majesty, the fourth Drukgyalpo Chimi Singye Wanchuk. On 11th November 1955, His Majesty was born. His Majesty was no ordinary king. His birth itself was prophesied by Guru Rinpoche. The prophecy spoke of a boy born in Wudrong, the land of peace and happiness, who would bring great change to his country, spread the Dharma, and ensure peace for his people. On 11th November 1955, that prophecy came true when a prince was born at Dechin Choling Palace. From his early years, His Majesty was carefully groomed by the third Drukgyalpo to become a wise and compassionate leader. At the age of 3, he first met the people. At the age of 16, he was appointed as Trongsa Panlop, and at just 17, he became the youngest head of the state in the world. Imagine that, leading a nation at an age when most of us are still in the school. But His Majesty did not just rule, he transformed Bhutan. His Majesty did not rule, he transformed Bhutan. He gifted the world with the concept of gross national happiness, reminding us that development is not only about wealth, but about harmony, culture, spiritual well-being, and happiness. Today, this unique philosophy is recognized globally. Even the United Nations celebrates March 20 as the International Day of Happiness. His Majesty also brought power closer to people. Through decentralization, he gave us the opportunity to plan and participate in our own development. And how can we forget about the courage of 2003, when militants threatened our peace and security? His Majesty personally led Operation Flushout, risking his own life for his people and sovereignty. That is true leadership, selfless, brave, and devoted. But perhaps the greatest act of selflessness came in 2006 when His Majesty abdicated the throne at the height of his power, passing on the golden throne to our beloved fifth Khalpo. He wanted to give his son the experience of leading the nation while he could still guide him. It was a decision made not for himself, but for the future of Bhutan. The Great Fourth's legacy is everywhere in our democracy, in our constitution, in our peace and stability, and in the smiles of every Bhutanese citizen. He has shown us that the king's greatest duty is not just to reign, but to prepare the nation for the future. As we reflect on his reign, let us pledge to uphold his vision to keep Bhutan a land of peace, happiness, and harmony, because that is the best way to honor the remarkable contributions of our great fourth. Karinchila.
That was wonderful speech. Now we have the last speaker from Ujurung Middle Secondary School, Sonam Yangchin Dolkar. Please come on the stage. She will summarize on the theme, the legacy of the Great Fourth.
With due respect to the Honorable Lamnathan, distinguished guests, brilliant judges, and all the worthy audience, I, Sonam Yangchin Dolkar, a representative speaker from Ujung Center School, stand before you with reverence in my heart to speak on Bhutan's place in the world and the indelible legacy our fourth king has left upon the global stage. In words of wisdom, happiness is not something ready-made. Happiness comes from your own actions. Our fourth king, His Majesty Jimmy Singye Wanchoo, a visionary and a guardian with a heart as vast as all mountains, stands as a sovereign, celebrated for his remarkable achievements on both national and international platforms. Among his greatest global contribution, His Majesty gifted the world the philosophy of gross national happiness, one of the world's most innovative and visionary concepts for leaders and governments across continents, showing that true prosperity is not measured through coins, it's measured through contentment, human dignity, and harmony. Through this noble philosophy, His Majesty redefined the meaning of progress by placing the happiness and the well-being of his people above mere economic growth. This profound vision earned widespread global recognition, inspiring scholars and nations alike to adopt JNH as a model for sustainable development and compassionate governance. Under His Majesty's reign, Bhutan blossomed, modernized yet timeless, embracing advancements while protecting its nature, culture, and the sacred rhythms of life. Well, as we all say, success is a series of small wins. Under His Majesty's enlightened reign, Bhutan developed remarkably, yet reminded the world of the sacred beauty of environment and preserved its rich culture and preserved its rich culture, and upheld the guardianship of the environment. The challenges we face today, from harsh weathers to climate uncertainties, it reminds us that the consequences of our action depends on our hands. How far-sighted was His Majesty the Fourth Duke Gyalpo to urge all the global leaders to protect its environment, anticipating the natural threat that now confront us. Another monumental achievement of His Majesty's reign was reducing the power of monarchy and establishing a parliamentary democracy. Truly, His Majesty is a rare sovereign willing to step aside from the throne and empower his people to make decisions that shape the nation's identity. On the national stage, Bhutan became an active participant in United Nations and regional bodies, strengthening its voice and reputation worldwide. A lion is rightly called the king of beasts, and for a reason, as Jack Hanna once said. Today, we bow our head to His Majesty with the deepest respect, to a sovereign whose compassion and courage knows no bounds. If he possesses even a fraction of a mother's heart, shedding tears for her child, then be here. Let us shed tears of honor and gratitude to His Majesty. Beyond international recognition, in 2003, His Majesty, keeping his armed guards behind him and ensuring the safety of his people in their fortified home, stood up front against terrorism. His Majesty sacrificed his own safety to keep us safe. No other leaders in the world has displayed this much courage, selflessness, and the purity of heart on the global stage. All in all, let us unite in prayer for His Majesty and pray for His Majesty's long life. The King whose legacy was happiness, peace, and honor, a sovereign whose vision continues to illuminate Bhutan and rest of the world. Thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonam Yongchen. That was a beautiful speech. Now that all our speakers have delivered their speeches, I would like to request our Chief DEO to give us remarks on today's program.
Here we are to the end of a youth forum titled The Legacy of the Fourth King. I just would like to take this opportunity on behalf of Dashtonda and then Sherik Zasang of Tashigang to extend a heartfelt gratitude to Team BPS for bringing this youth forum all the way from Thimphu to Tashigang. Thank you so much. Can we give this Team BPS a big round of applause? Had it been not for the organizer, the Team BPS, this is never going to take place. And, so thank you once again. I also would like to thank the participant for their active participation and the host school for their kind support. Lastly, I want all the audience here to place your hand on the heart and take a moment to pray for His Majesty, the King Jigme Sangye Wangchula. Last, I would like to take this opportunity to wish our beloved fourth king His Majesty 𝐘𝐸𝐭𝐡 a long and healthy life. May the sun of happiness and prosperity shine upon him always, and may his wisdom and compassion continue to bless our country and its people. Thank you so much, Garichela.
I have to make yet another request to present the awards to our participants. Dear speakers, dear participants, please come on the stage as I call your names. Rinchen Selden, Pema Yang Chen, Chimei Yuden, Chimei Yuden from Jumpeling Higher Secondary School. Michelle Hamon from Tashigang Middle Secondary School. Tashi Sonam Lhaden from Radi Middle Secondary School. 𝐘𝐸𝐭𝐡, please stand by. 𝐘𝐸𝐭𝐡 from Trimshing Central School. Sonam Tenzin. Sonam Tenzin from Gongtung Middle Secondary School. Choying Dekar from Jimmy Sharavling Central School. Pema Selden. Pema Selden from Tashitsi Higher Secondary School. Sonam Yangchen Dolkar from Udzurong Middle Secondary School. Pema Choden from Dungtse Middle Secondary School. Thank you so much. Now, as our judges tally their scores, let's take a moment to appreciate every single participant. Each one of them has spoken with passion, confidence, and pride, truly reflecting the strength and spirit of Bhutan's youth. Whether they spoke about democracy, education, or environment, each message today echoed in timeless wisdom of His Majesty, the 4th Druk Gyalpo. Before announcing the best speaker, we have Tashidale dance performance by Rangjung Central School. Thank you so much, Rangjung Central School, for that wonderful performance. What a beautiful way to end our program. Now I have the result of Best Speaker with me, and I would like to invite Venerable Lam Nathan on the stage to honor the Best Speaker. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Our judges have made their decision. Who do you think is going to be the best speaker Any guesses? Which school? Rangjung. Any other guesses? Maybe Dashika? Okay, without further ado, I will read out the name of the best speaker of Youth Forum 2025. Like you guessed, our best speaker for Youth Forum is Rinchen Selden. Rinchen Selden, please come on the stage and receive the award. Congratulations. Let's give a round of applause to Rinchen Selden. Thank you so much, Venerable Nathan. Thank you so much, love. Now, let us extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed guests for taking the time to be with us and for supporting this program. A big thank you to our judges, coordinators, and sponsors, High Quality Thangka and CSI, for your generous contributions and support which have made today possible. Most importantly, we thank all our participants for sharing your thoughts, ideas, and confidence on legacy of Great Fort through your words and creativity. You have shown that youth of Bhutan, from east to west, are truly the bearers of His Majesty's vision. We also thank our dear viewers across the country for joining us and being part of this celebration. Finally, let us offer our deepest respect and warmest wishes to His Majesty, the 4th Through Gyalpo. May His vision continue to guide our nation, His wisdom inspire our hearts, and His legacy shine brightly for generations to come. Long live His Majesty, the beloved guardian of our happiness and prosperity. Thank you, everyone.